Hey, MathKook here. This video contains one of many examples in my Algebra 2 library. The rest of those examples, along with hundreds of other videos, are only available at mathkook.com. Let's MathKook it up. This question says, simplify the square root of 3x squared times -4 times the square root of 15x. So what's the rule when we are multiplying radical expressions? Here it is. Multiply the coefficients and radicands separately. As a reminder, radicands are the part underneath the square root. So in this case, you have a 3x squared as the first radicand, and then you have 15x as the second radicand. And we want to keep the radicands under the square root when we multiply. All right, so let's go ahead and write our problem out here. So here it is. Now in the first factor, what is the coefficient? Because there's no number here. So the number that's out here is just a 1. So there's an imaginary 1 there. I'll go ahead and write it. All right, and then we have a -4 as the coefficient in front of the other radical expression. So I'll underline those in red here. So our coefficients in red. And then we'll do our radicands in blue. All right, so let's go ahead and multiply the coefficients. So we have 1 times -4 square root. Then we multiply 3x squared times the other radicand, which is 15x. So now we go ahead and simplify. We have 1 times -4, which is -4. And then underneath the square root, we have 3 times 15, which is 45. X squared times x, which is x to the third. All right, so now we have to evaluate our expression here and see if we can simplify any further. And we can, because the 45 is going to break down. So let's go ahead and do a factor tree for 45 on the side here. That's 5 times 9, 3 times 3. So we have 5 times 3 times 3. So that tells us we can take out a 3 because we have a pair of 3's that can come out of the radical. So let's go ahead and write this. We have 5 times 3 times 3. Then we also have 3x's, so I'll go ahead and write those out too. And then remember, because it's a square root, what number is in the root here? Well, there's a 2. That means we need 2 of a factor for 1 to come out. The numbers need to buddy up to get out of jail, as I like to say. So these 3's buddy up, a 3 comes out of jail, these x's buddy up, and then x comes out of jail. All right, so then what's our answer? So we have a -4 already in front times the 3, so that's going to give us -12. And then super important, whenever you take out a variable that has an odd exponent, like this one does, it's just to the first, and it came from an even root, you have to put absolute value around the variable because the variable must be positive. All right, so what's left underneath the radical? I'll go ahead and underline that in green. We have a 5 and an x. So we just multiply those, and we have 5x in the radical. So our final answer is -12, and I'll highlight these guys here as absolute values. So -12 times the absolute value of x times the square root of 5x. And that is our final answer. Hey Kook, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. For unlimited access to all of my Algebra 2 videos, visit mathkook.com. Thanks for watching.